Good morning, world.
Good morning, world.
All right, we have a reaction from a request from you.
The request
read that
line.
real quick. This was sent to us on Cash App. And this was from Joseph Cornell. Joseph, thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. He said, do a song, Rich Man's World by Immortal Technique. We'll see what this is, and we'll go from there. But we appreciate it.
When they pay, we play. Stay tuned. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. All right, remember, if you don't like this, it's Joseph Cornell.
Yes.
Here we go.
You get up and howl about America and democracy. There is no America. There is no democracy. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business. The world is a business. And I have chosen you to preach this evangel.
Who was that?
I don't know who that was. It sounded like something from a movie.
Yes.
So you guys let us know where that came from. I can't disagree.
The world's a huge university, little colleges contained within the university.
Well, no, the world's a business,
Yeah.
is what he's saying, and that's the crony capitalism. So I'm hoping this isn't going to be a diss on capitalism itself, but maybe what capitalism has become, and we know it's all coming down from on high now, and the big corporations, world corporations now, not the United States, do kind of run things. So I have a feeling that's where this is going.
For all my free market healthcare robbing, stock stealing, retirement fund fucking with niggas. Fuck you little credit card scamming, jewelry stealing, crack selling, liquor store robbing motherfuckers. Shout to the homies, Carnegie, OG, Willie Randolph Hearst, Baruch, Rockefeller, the real Rockefeller, my main bitch Leona, pour out a little Louis the 13th. Scott Rothstein, Jack Abramoff, hold your head. My Rothschild niggas, let's get this money. I spend my day peppering America overseas. Pension for the workers, nigga, please. Embezzlement, etiquette, private settlement. I'm better with Confederate rhetoric from my mansion in Connecticut. Foreclosure Vic hoes at the tenement. I twist words like a speech impediment. I hope you got good credit, bitch. If not, better get a new job with benefits. While I play golf with niggas and get cheddar with. New money buys brand new carrots. My old money bunch of great grandparents. You got grills in your mouth, I ain't mad at ya. I own every gold mine in South Africa. Thanks, baby, you made me $1 billion. Plus, I own a building for each one of my children's children.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, though, I do like the flow.
The good flow. The good flow. I like. He talks about some of the old school money, the Carnegies,
The Rockefellers,
the steel magnet there. But I don't know. I'm kind of losing it after that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you get angry at the system, you'll just start throwing words out there.
Right.
And sometimes you can kind of thread it. You can feel where he's coming from. I think this is just the setup. That's the setup right now.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna find.
I like that. I don't care if you put grills in your mouth, because I mean, that helped me. I own every gold mine. Like, you gotta be careful with you. I was never a big Nike fan, but Nike is out there and it does very well for itself as a corporation, obviously.
Yeah, don't mind the slave labor they use.
That's another reason why I can't get with it.
I'm sure they're not the only one.
Africa, thanks, baby, you made me $1 billion. Plus, I own a building for each one of my children's children. That's the shit. Snort coke in the whip, Miss USA sucking my dick. Yeah, what? Fuck the law, cause real jailers for suckers. I go to country club prison, you dumb motherfuckers. I am the 1%. Fucking bitch.
So some of these closed caption words are wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
But he said, he goes, you can throw me in jail. I just go to the country club prison because I've got the money.
Right.
And he's not. I mean, he's not wrong. Look at what was her name? Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. Yeah.
I think she got to play tennis in prison.
Yeah.
So you know, I get it. I get the
one of my favorite movies, Goodfellas. You know, they went to the higher suite prison where they got catered to and things like that. So
you can hate it. It's the system. And this is when I kind of throw this back at people that kind of just blame capitalism. It's like, if you don't have capitalism and you have people at least working for their money, maybe it's corrupt. In a lot of cases, it probably is corrupt. But if you don't have it through trade, which is basically capitalism, just trade, then you're going to get it through oligarchy. You're going to get it like the old days where you're born into the kingship and then you just decide. Yeah. And then the people around you, if they suck up to you and kiss your ass, then you'll feed them some of the money. Everybody else is just the peasants. Mm-hmm. So what system would you rather have? I mean, there is no perfect system.
Right.
And so when I hear stuff like this, it kind of, I get it, but it's like, what's the alternative? Yeah. Do we just want somebody that's going to be a king and he'll decide if he wants to be good to the peasants or if he wants to treat them like serfs and they just are basically slave labor to get their cake, let them eat cake, right?
Yeah.
And you dumb motherfuckers, I am the 1% fucking bitch. Yeah, you know my CEO corporate steez. Please overthrow governments overseas in a breeze. Politicians in my pockets for a few hundred G's. So if I'm ever in court, my assets are never free. I got a job and a house and a bank account. When I'm out, I doubt that's something you can say. And if not, then a fake death like Kenneth Lay. Make money every day, the world burns on its access. While y'all struggling to pay taxes, I'm getting my money the fastest. Memos and faxes, shredded up documents, slush funds through the corrupt continents. But they don't want me indicted, cause they don't want my dirty laundry aired when I fight it. Don't get my lawyers excited, cause what good is a law if you can't rewrite it? I got CIA traitors, dictators, so fuck y'all whistleblowers and haters.
I know they're going to bring this up.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say,
if they don't want me indicted because you got to air my dirty laundry, and let's be clear,
you don't want to be Epstein.
Right, we don't be Epstein, but it's like if I'm, and let's use what's going on right now, real time, Trump being indicted. It's like, well, you can't indict him for a lot of things, including his taxes, because chances are he's not the only one doing it. So
obviously not the only one doing it.
If you're going to indict him for it, it's like, okay, let's tell everybody's business then.
They didn't indict Hillary.
Oh, yes. My goodness.
Bit bleached her stuff. So, I mean, there's the powerful, and you can put Trump up there with the powerful too. But then there is the powerful, and we're seeing the true powerful because, again, they'll ignore everything that's going on with the Biden family right now. They ignored what went on with the Clinton family, but they're going after this guy.
Let's go after the guy who's
Trump.
Not in the house.
Yeah, and so, again, I can't disagree with the sentiment here, but it's, again, we need to find a way to go back, and it was never a perfect world. Obviously, the world has never, ever been perfect. If you know history, it's just not the way that we're imperfect people.
Yes.
But you have to work within the system and try to get some of the corruption out, not by overthrowing the system and say, oh, let's. I think he made a reference to like socialized healthcare and stuff like that. It's like, well, obviously in the UK that's going bankrupt. So what seems like it might be a good idea, when you think about it longer than 5 seconds, you realize, well, somebody's got to pay those doctors.
Free.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay them. So it's either going to be you just have on high telling people we're going to take your money and pay them, or you try to make it something where you give to get.
Well, I think a lot of people want that. It's like we're in a system now where we pay 38%, 40% of your taxes. You go to a socialized system now, 75% is going of your taxes going, but everybody is on a level playing field. Everyone's poor.
But it's not level because the rich people then get out of the system, and like if you're in Canada or you're in the UK, then guess what? You come over to the filthy capitalists of the United States, and that's where you get your actual treatment done.
Yeah. And I saw something the other day, that says if we lose everything, watch the people who have everything because they won't lose anything.
Exactly. Sadly. I mean, so I agree with the sentiment. It's corrupt. We're in a terrible system, and it's getting worse. But how do we fix it? And how we fix it, in my estimation, is not, let's just throw it all away and go to socialism, because we know that hasn't worked and actually had made people worse off. Yeah. So anyway.
Do we apologize for the language already?
Yeah, we've done stuff with language, so we didn't want to discount this because it's got bad language.
My virgin ear.
When I fight it, don't get my lawyers excited, cause what good is a law if you can't rewrite it? I got CIA traitors, dictators, so fuck y'all whistleblowers and haters. Shit. I'll invest money from Al-Qaeda in the bank, 9/11 widows go too later. Capitalism isms who I pray to fuck the state of the world. Money talks, so what the fuck I need to say to your girl? I don't pay him to fuck, I pay him to leave. You know my CEO corporate steez, greed. I treat countries like the IMF, down on your knees. Real gangsters run the world, fuck what you believe. I cut down the forest while y'all niggas burning some trees.
I agree with that too. The gangsters do run the world. We just what's your definition of gangsters? When you look at the World Health Organization and groups like that, they think they're above. They just the way they talk to you, you know they put themselves here, and they have the money through whatever means, you know, legal and illegal, and they run it.
So
they're the gangsters.
George Soros is the Don Dada?
It's not just George Soros. It's
I know,
on
he's
both
one
sides,
of them.
man.
He's one of them.
I don't want to play sides. The only thing is the solution. There's one side that I vehemently disagree with more than the other, and a lot of these people in those organizations, they think that they're going to be the people to tell everybody else what to do, and that's not a system I want to live in. And it's even scarier when it's coming from the world organization rather than just your country. So, and I'm getting political here, but in the United States, as much as you hate it, and this guy obviously hates the system, and people on both sides hate the corruption, but at least in this system, since it's a smaller system, and we broke it up into even smaller systems called states, you can go where you think maybe it's less corrupt. It may not be, but maybe you can live a lifestyle. I mean, we only have, 70 years here on average to live. At least you can go pick where you want to live that lifestyle. Whereas if it's controlled by the world, until Elon Musk comes up with his rocket to take us to Mars, you're stuck here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
I'll get your family murdered for a couple of G's, cause your working class money ain't fucking with me. You think rappers are rich cause of songs you heard? My labels make some money and have it rap the fucking word.
Okay, so this is where people like Tom McDonald and Ren come in. If you're pissed off that your label takes all your money, and you're coming out with great, your label's making all this money, and you're pissed off because they're taking the 80%.
Go independent.
Exactly, that's my point. It's like then you do it yourself. In the old days, you couldn't. Right. You had to go to a label.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't have to do that. So don't bitch about it.
You heard? My labels make some money and have it rap the fucking word. Yacht in the ocean coasting with the sails out. Hey America, thanks for the bailouts. I made off at the Banco Ambrosiano. Got away scot-free like El Vaticano. Activists get mad at me because I'm a tax-free charity. 80% to the staff and company and 20% to the homeless and hungry. The country gotta pay the Fed Reserve. Kick back to the banksters, haven't you learned? You protest cops and patrols on the street, but I bought City Hall so I own the police.
So it's another great point that he's bringing up here.
You're stopping a lot on this one.
I'm sorry, it's good stuff. The charities, the ones that are get tax exemptions because they're charities. BLM, anybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I don't like. And my wife gets on this too. Whenever you go and you check out, and it's like, do you want to give this much to this charity?
I do not.
It's like, yeah, but is 80% going to all the CEOs of the charities and 20% actually goes to what you're paying?
Yeah.
So again, another great point. Again, but we can always bitch about stuff. We can always come out what's wrong because there's always going to be something wrong. What are the solutions?
I'm not going to pick on names and stuff. A few weeks ago we had that terrible tragedy with the millionaires in the submarine that went underneath and it imploded and stuff. And you heard a lot of young people talk about, well, they're rich, so they're inherently bad. That's not always true. Just because you're rich and you make money doesn't make you a bad person. But I think a lot of rich people are very altruistic. I worked at a college and I worked in the capital campaign department. They love to give money. I think what they say is like, I don't want the government dipping into my pocket and say, okay, you have to give money here.
Right.
Let me decide who I want to support and where I want to give my money to.
And that's kind of what's been nice with the internet, because with the GoFundMe stuff, you don't have to go through another organization. If you feel that person was wronged or they had some kind of tragedy, you could donate directly to them. Right. I know GoFundMe probably took us a percentage, but it's a much smaller percentage than if you went to an organization where they have to pay all of the volunteers. Yeah, volunteers. So anyway,
Patrice Colors.
Banksters, haven't you learned? You protest cops and patrols on the street, but I bought City Hall, so I own the police. Email, Facebook, and the shit you tweet. Or the phone company, so I heard you speaking. My suggestion is no correction, no election, sex with no affection, no invention to benefit the world. A man will exist till I got the money in my hand. World Bank, interest rate, damn rape on the spot. But I'm a gangster, you gon' take my money like it or not, nigga. I got your country in my pocket, motherfucker. You know my CEO Masonic steez cheese. Only little people pay all these taxes and fees. Since you were born, we controlled what you watch and you read. And pretty soon we're gonna own the fucking air that you breathe. I take what I want, fucker. I don't have to say please. I convince.
All right, they already trying to own the air that you breathe. The words were wrong in there, but they're gonna own the air that you breathe. Global warming, anybody?
Yeah.
They're going to keep bringing this up, and they're going to tell you what they're telling you, go, don't eat. You know, the food you're eating is polluting the air. We're all going to die in 12 years. That's been going on for just as long as we're alive, which is a long time. I'm sorry, this is good stuff.
Breathe, I take what I want, fucker. I don't have to say please. I convince you that it's good for you. Take it and leave. You think presidents are the face of a nation? I put them all where they are. End of the conversation.
Okay, I did not know what to expect from
Thank
this.
you, Joseph.
Yes,
It was good. Again, it's easy. It's easy to bitch about stuff. So I mean, he's got half the equation. He's bitching about stuff. He's using his own eyes and knowing that the rich do control stuff. But again, that's in history. That's been forever. As long as we can look back. What made us unique is that we tried to set up a system that kind of spread it out a little bit more, and obviously over time it gets corrupt.
Yeah, well, everybody looks at something. So how can I make a little bit more off of this system?
And what do they say? Power corrupts, absolute power
corrupts absolutely. Yep.
And what happens is when you have people, and people are flawed, and one of the things that people do is when they get a little bit of clout and a little bit of power, instead of using that for good, they want more of it. Yeah. It's just like an endorphin rush. Yep. And but that's how are you going to solve it?
Yeah,
the way to solve it is try to decentralize stuff, and that's what pisses me off about these corporations. And what I grew up, because I've always been capitalist minded, but I always wanted that law that's supposed to break up monopolies. And we don't do it. We pretend to do it, like we break up the phone companies, but then it's all just different names owned by the same entity. Right. And when we look at soft drinks, there's maybe 3 or 4 companies that own all of them, and we just pretend that there's choices. It's like, come on, we know the game, but how we need people in power to break that up, but they won't, because again, they're benefiting from it by the same people that they're supposed to break up. So it is frustrating. I get it. Immortal Technique. I like this.
And who was the gentleman's name who suggested?
Joseph Cornell again.
Again, I want to hear you comment. We'll see what your take is on this, Joseph.
But the problem is then the default is socialism and communism and Marxism, and that's look at history. People ignore history.
Yes. Well, people say if we just stay out of the way, it'll work. But we know that's
never
not true.
Worked, and it's real time. It's happening now. It happened in Venezuela, one of the richest countries in South America, and now it's people are fleeing like they did in Cuba. And
where are they going?
Yeah, they're coming where we're trying to hold on to our flawed, corrupt system. But at least, even if we're just pretending, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my opinion.
This was different. I didn't know what to expect, but it was good.
And you know what? And I'm not a big rap guy, but I liked the cadence and the flow of this. To me, rap gets a little boring only because I know it's about the story, kind of like Country, 3 Chords, and The Truth. But when you hear that loop in the background, it's like that gets to me, because I'd rather have musicians where you hear some flaws and stuff like that. But I get it. It's just about spitting what you want to spit out there.
Oh, good look at you. Spitting, huh? Look at you. All urban out.
He belittles me.
All right. Joseph, thank you. Again, we will never tell what was donated, but we thank you for your donation, for what you want to hear. If you guys want to hear, you know what to do. You see it, you can scan it and it tells, hey, I want to hear this song, and we will get around to it. But make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and continue sharing our channel with everyone you know. And like this song was saying, keep your eyes open and see what's going on out there. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
I'm Brian. We might find out that this guy's like a racist anti-Semite or something too. And people are going to point that out. I'm not sure. But as far as the song, it's observant.